Play me that old soft shoe, I said that old soft shoe. 1, a 2, a doodly doodly doo. Play me that old soft shoe and nothing else will do. That's the dance my darling used to do. Boom, boom.
I'm here to tell you that your whole life can change in a moment. And this is that moment. And this is the word.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Word, the unofficial Preacher podcast for AMC's Preacher, Season 3, Episode 5. I'm your host, Steve.
Greetings, friends, families, assholes, lovers, everyone. Welcome to The Word. My name is Dan Ramirez, and damn it, do we have a show for you.
Oh, dude. Was that a Dusk Till Dawn shout-out?
I don't think so. If it was, it was completely,
accidental.
Subconscious. Okay. Why, do they literally say greetings, friends? What did I say? Families and assholes? I don't even remember what I said.
He's trying to get people into the strip club in the beginning, Cheech Marin. And he's like, come on in. And, I thought you were doing a shout out.
No, sir.
I love that
Preacher,
movie.
Man. This isn't Dusk Till Dawn.
But, vampire.
That's true. Okay, you got me there.
No spoiler alert. Sorry, there's vampires in Dusk Till Dawn.
Steve ruins everything. He's the worst, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry.
The worst.
People were like, I thought it was just a movie about waking up. No. All right. So, dude, all right. Today is going to be a killer show. Let me tell you why. Because Dan's had a bit of a week and he needs a release. And today, my friends, the release is happening.
I don't know what you're talking about, Steve. Let's just say I have plenty of releases.
Oh, snap. Oh.
No shortage of those, my friend.
Oh.
Because I do yoga. So I'm constantly,
Do you really do yoga?
No, not at all. I've done it once before. And it was cool until I went, hey, how much does this class cost? And then she told me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go home and do some sit-ups or something like that. Who?
Our listeners, and the only way that they can tell you is by giving them the contact information.
Oh, the segues on this guy. Sure, why not? Why not, guys? This guy. I don't know what I'm going to do with you, Hudson. I do not know. But I do know what I am going to do right now. Now that's a segue. Ladies and gentlemen, I have contact information for you. Do you want to get a hold of us? Of course you do. And there's a way to do it. There's several ways, actually. Let's start with email. You can hit us up at askwordpodcast@gmail.com. If you like Twitter, you kids like Twitter, right? You know about the Twitters. @word_podcast. You can reach myself. My name is Dan. I like to say that at Dan Q Public, and my buddy Steve over there at SE_Hudson Music. You can get all of these things, a whole bunch of different stuff. www.heroesofnoise.com. That's www.heroesofnoise.com. That's our website. We love it. What's Heroes of Noise? This is the word, right? That's what you're asking yourself, you noobs. Yes. We do have another podcast. It's called Heroes of Noise, and this is where we get down talking about the pop culture. What else do we do on there, Steve? We bullshit a whole bunch, don't we?
Yes, we do.
You have a good time on there, no?
I love it.
And folks, you will too. So go to heroesofnoise.com and check us out. Subscribe to our shows, plural, on the website. You can subscribe iTunes, Stitcher, wherever podcasts are heard. Make sure when you're subscribing and you like the show and you're finding your groove, our voices are tantalizing to you, please leave us a 5-star review over on iTunes. Leave us reviews on Stitcher. Leave us a review anywhere. I don't give a shit. Just put us down somewhere. Get us out into the ether. We would really appreciate that. That's about it for the contact information. I'm going to pass it over to the most handsome guy I know, myself, and I'm going to go ahead and keep on talking.
Look at this guy. I was wondering, I was like, is he going to do it?
Mr. Steve Hudson, please take over the microphone.
So, a little thing happened in San Diego. It's a tiny little get-together of people that is kind of gaining some steam.
These kids get together, they put their costumes on, and
yes.
they sit around and socialize.
At the Comic-Con.
At the Comic-Con.
Comic-Con. But the dope thing is, I saw that our people from Preacher, the folks, I think it was Ruth Nega, Dominic Cooper, Joseph Gilgan, Seth Rogen. Was Sam Catlin there or no?
Sam Catlin was there as well.
Sam Catlin was there. Was Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg there?
Evan Goldberg was there too.
Oh, dude, no, they're doing a push.
They're doing the most, baby.
They are doing the push. And there was a clip of Joseph Gilligan saying, hey, is there really 7,000 people in this place? And they went crazy. And he was like, oh, man, we could really go to the local bar and mess things up. But the fact that he said 7,000 people, then it sounded like 7,000 people. I was like, holy crap. I think they filled Hall H, dude.
Hall H is no joke. That's a huge place. I've never been there, but I've seen it, many times on YouTube and whatnot, and it looks massive.
It is huge. Like, that's where they have but I'm a fan of the show. So that's where they have like the supernatural panels. And that's that's one of those like massive. So when they said, hey, Preacher's going to be in Hall H, I was like, oh no, I think it's something's happening with Preacher, I think.
Well, it was there before. It was there last year, I believe.
Was it that like major? It was everywhere on Twitter.
It's Hall H, dude. It's always going to be major when it's Hall H. So yes, really? they had a good turnout last year too. But I think that people were a little more excited this year. I know I would have been if I was there because this season is just killing it.
Wait, there was people missing last. Remember there were people missing last Preacher panel? They didn't have a full panel.
I would be bullshitting you completely if I said I remembered that because I wasn't there, so I'm a little bitter about that. So I tried to block it out.
Dude, you try to get in every.
No. Actually, hold on. I was going to say something right now. I'm just going to call myself out on this here. I call us out on this, Steve. I don't think that as podcasters, trying to preach the word about Preacher, I should say.
I like that.
I don't think that we're really doing our job, man. I'm going to have to call us out on this here and apologize to the public. And you want to know why?
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
I'm going to tell you why, ladies and gentlemen, because we live in California, okay? San Diego is about just a few hours up the road. And 6 hours up the road.
That's a long drive.
It ain't like we're driving from New York, dude. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
However, I have to say I was I got a little bummed out because when WonderCon came through, I tried to get us press passes.
Uh-huh.
Basically, guys, what I'm trying to say is I was a little bit lazy and I slept on it. So should season 4 come back around, rest assured, I'm going to do my best to get us there. It should be fairly simple to get a press pass for us. I really think so. Not trying to sound cocky or anything, but I think we've put the work in, and I think that we could probably get one fairly easy. Just my take on it. But next year, I'm going to do my best to make sure that both of us, Steve, get in there, and we're going to do our thing. We're going to get up there. We're going to talk to people with the little microphones in the face. We'll take some pictures. We'll do out some tweets. It'll be a hoot.
I mean, because it seems as if I'm talking about when I'm looking at pictures on Twitter, wherever they're like at a restaurant around town, they're taking pictures with like random people just walking around San Diego, obviously. And there's a few people from Black Lightning I really want to take a picture with. So I really want to get a press pass next season.
It really would have worked out well too, guys, because as you know, or some of you know, I just had surgery, so I'm actually on medical leave right now. We could have totally done this, but I didn't know that was going to happen. It kind of happened quick. I'm not making up any excuses. I'm telling y'all right now, I slept on it. So you can blame me. Blame us. Steve's an asshole too. We're both assholes. I don't even know why you're listening to us. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Take care. But dude, I think for this Comic-Con, number one, here's something that I didn't realize.
What's that?
And I was going to wait for the show. I didn't realize that Dominic Cooper, Ruth Negga, and Joseph Gilligan were all co-executive producers of the show.
They're investing in it now, huh?
Yes. When I saw it, and I was like, why are they showing Joseph Gilligan again? And it's like co-executive producer. I'm like, okay. Ruth Negga, co-executive producer. Okay. Dominic Cooper. I was like, wait a second. They have said, okay, we are now investing in this show. They believe in it, man. That makes it, and it made a thing for me. I was like, okay, this is a big deal, because what this means to me is, hypothetically, if Seth Rogen is too busy on The Boys, they're still in. They're going to keep this thing going, I think.
I think they're going to keep it going. It seems to me, like I said last week, I think it was last week, people are so much more into it now. We were always there. We were always tweeting. We were always excited about it, but something has changed. And I'm not even talking about the audience. I mean, I think the audience has changed a little bit where they have a better attitude about things and they're more hopeful. But something's changed on the AMC side. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. I mean, I know the writing's changed and it goes to show, you know what I mean? I don't know if this was just all part of the plan, but something's changed. And I think if they want to get a season 4, it's going to be very easy for them to do so.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, I haven't looked at the ratings yet, and I will today, but I have a feeling that it's at least going up a little. I mean, I have a feeling, I might be totally wrong, but there was some news that came out of San Diego Comic-Con regarding Preacher. You got that for us, brother?
I don't really have that much, Steve, but I do have a few things. I was perusing the internet, if you will, and pulled up just little clips, little not even sound bites, just quotes, basically, of things of what's to come. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the articles that I pulled was from sci-fi.com, entitled Preacher Season 3 SDCC Press Conference Promises Most Comic Content So Far. Can't really argue with that. You know what I mean? That's already there.
Totally.
So, it says, so what can fans expect from the remainder of the season? It says, during the show's press conference at San Diego Comic-Con, stars Dominic Cooper, Ruth Negga, and Joseph Gilgan, along with, we just already said that, and the gang, let's say that. Talked plenty about the weirdness of the season. For instance, why bring in John Wayne? Spoilers, hope you guys watched last night. You shouldn't be listening if if you're new, don't listen to this unless you've seen the show.
Word.
But that's it. It's the word, Steve. That's right. For instance, why bring in John Wayne? At a certain point, we weren't going to do John Wayne at all. I was under that impression, too. I thought that was going to be the case. Catlin said, Rogan added that the first season had so much weird shit that adding Wayne as an imaginary friend might have been too much. But don't worry, this season is going to be crazy, and the Preacher hardcore will be pleased. This season, there's more directly from the comic than the first 2 seasons. So, that's really all it is. It's a confirmation, basically, that they're just going balls out. I think that anyone that's been watching the show knows that now.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I could only imagine what people that haven't bothered to, learn the backstory or read the books must be thinking, because this has got to be a crazy-ass ride for them, pretty much in the way that it was for us when we first read it, even though it's a little bit different, I'm pretty sure everyone's happy here. I know there's a few people that have their little, nitpicky things, but it's a blast, man. This has been a really fun time, communicating with everyone on Twitter and just kind of feeling the energy that's going on. It's awesome. It's really cool.
I will reiterate what I've always been saying. AMC needs to do a better job of getting the word out about Preacher, period. I mean, we're doing everything we can. Hall H was packed, which is great, but they need to do something way more to get the word out in just like Twitter sphere and viral campaigns, because just to give you a little hint, give you a little comparison regarding the ratings. Season 2, episode 5, okay? It was called Dallas. This is episode 5. It had 1.27 million viewers, which isn't bad, right?
Right.
The season premiere for this season had 800,000.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. And it's gone down since then, every episode.
Oh, so you have the numbers in front of you now?
Yes, I do.
Let's talk about it, man. What do we have? We don't have last night's yet, do we?
No, we don't have last night's. We just have episode 1.
800,000.
From 800,000. Episode 2, 700,000.
Ooh, wrong direction.
Episode 3, 700,000. Episode 4, it was like at 770,000. Now episode 4 is 750,000.
It's a step in the wrong direction, Steve.
Yeah, we need to, because when episode 5 of last season, episode 12 of last season had 1.1 million viewers. Episode 12 of last season, and the season premiere for this one only had 800,000.
Interesting. I'm not going to bother with the numbers, dude. I don't.
We could get there. The thing is, we could get there though.
Yes, we
could. It could totally happen, because you have some of the most charismatic actors on television right now, all on one show.
A good-looking lot of people.
Yes.
Super charismatic, as you said.
Totally. And let me tell you something. Here's people who are doing a killer job online, though. Julianne Emery is killing it.
Malcolm Barrett,
pictures,
killing it.
They're putting out these pictures that I'm just like, oh, this is totally freaking cool. This. I could just go to her Twitter feed. I'm like, see, she knows how to make people want to say, oh, wow, look at this. Like, why is she wearing a disguise in the Twitter feed? I wanted to see that then. And when I saw the disguise, I now was like, oh, I saw that disguise on Twitter. That's why. But everyone needs to do that. And let me be clear. This isn't the actors and actresses' jobs.
No, they're just doing this because they want. I mean,
just for fun. Yes.
I would assume for fun and also to help out. I have a feeling they kind of agree with us. You know what I mean? We need to do everything that we can. That's awesome that they do that. That they're
yes.
It's because teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Absolutely. And that's why I just want to make it clear that I'm not saying, when I'm like AMC needs to do more. I'm not saying, and they act. No, they are doing what they do. But AMC has people that they have departments for this. This is all they're supposed to be doing. And it is so viral ready. Preacher is such a viral ready show. Like Satan, like we said last week, who wouldn't watch a little viral campaign with that guy?
I'm still all about the webisodes, dude. I'm telling you, there's something to it.
There is totally something to it. I would love that. And people that didn't even know the show would be like, okay, I want to watch the show for that, let alone Cassidy's origin story. They shouldn't even put it in the show. It should be a web series.
Do you think they're just utilizing all of that attention right now for and I'm not saying it in a negative way, but to me, it seems, although the trailer, I will say, was pretty awesome, that The Walking Dead is in a, decline. And will probably be ending pretty soon.
Lincoln's leaving.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I think that they're aware of that. Right. Yeah. Well, what I'm wondering is, do you think that they're utilizing they're just doing everything that they can to make sure that there's viewers for this last season, if it is in fact the last season? Do you think this is like a last-ditch effort to bring in, more viewers? Like, they're losing Lincoln, dude. what are you going to do?
And mind you, I don't know if Denai Guerrero is going to be there much longer.
Yeah, she's kind of blowing up right now.
She is, she's who does she got? Is she the new face of
Reebok?
Is it Reebok?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
look, it's Reebok.
At this point, can we all say that she's the biggest star on the show? Outside of the show, I think Denai is the biggest star outside of the show. Because she's been on Black Panther.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. She was in that Tupac movie that came out, All Eyes on Me.
Exactly.
I know we're not talking about this isn't the Walking Dead podcast, guys.
No.
Chill out, but we're just talking. Shooting the shit.
Because this comes back around. She's the biggest star. They are now, I know she's thinking, well, I don't know if there's enough money. It's not I don't think it's going to be a money thing for her to stay. So if she's thinking and tiptoeing around leaving, they now have to think, do we build a show around the other characters or do we get out? And if they're getting out and they're pushing Walking Dead's last season for ratings, I don't think they should do that. I think they should say, since this is ending, we need an heir apparent. And freaking Preacher's the heir apparent, man.
It totally is.
Put all your eggs in that bat. Let this one go off into that distant sunset. And then, just put all your eggs into the Preacher basket and because dude, remember that? I don't know if you were watching it, but I don't know if it was Fear or Walking. I think it was Fear. Fear the Walking Dead had a little commercial series and a web series about a side web series about the show. I was like, that should be Preachers.
That just proves my point.
Yeah.
Why can't this be done? There's no reason for it.
I wouldn't be saying if it was going downhill, I would have been like, maybe they should. I'd be way more, maybe they should let it go. But Preacher feels like it just got its feet. And if they do this thing where they're just like, yeah, it just didn't seem like we ever got our audience, I am going to throw a mic on the panel to the producers or whatever and be like, that's not true. The actors worked their butt off. Y'all had an audience. You just didn't go at them. That's it. That's the only thing. Y'all had an audience because this show is killing it right now. In its genre, this is the best show on AMC. It's not close.
I agree. I think it's better than The Walking Dead. I do. But that's just me. I'm partial to it. That's why, but there's a bias there. I really do feel like it's holding my interest much better than that show. And we should get that kind of marketing.
Well, okay, I'm about to make everybody mad. I'm sure they're yelling into their screens right now.
Blow some minds, Hudson.
Dude, let's just put it out there. Fear the Walking Dead should not have any of the push that Preacher does. Preacher should get all the push that Fear the Walking Dead is getting. Because there's no point in them right now. They are a knockoff of a show that's going downhill. So I'm like, look, guys, if you're going to hitch your wagon to something, how is Preacher not the one? don't get it.
I don't get it
I just don't get it. And like I said, I'm going to be their biggest fan right now. Because when I look at what's going on, I think that they deserve way more than they're getting. I mean, even at this season, the worst episode I've seen is better than the best episode of Fear the Walking Dead last season.
I'm going to have to go off your opinion on that one because I don't watch the show.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it was fun, but this is showing how fun is. This is showing what fun really is. No question. This is the one. Preacher.
You know, that's the thing. That's a good word that you used. Fun. This has become a very fun season. I love all the fighting that they're doing. I love the humor that they're throwing into it. Again, I think that you said it perfectly. They finally got their footing rather. Everything you're saying is just right.
And they're getting the viewers. Like they'll get like a 2.1. Like their first season got like 10 million viewers. Fear the Walking Dead. Like they got 10 million, 7 million. But again, now check it out. This season is getting 2 million, 1 million. That's a bigger drop off than Preacher.
That's a huge drop off.
That's a major drop off. And they're only living off the Walking Dead name. That's
exactly.
What
it was a handout to them basically. They said, "Hey, look at this big brand that we have. Now go check it out at this time." And everyone went because it was a huge brand. People are just getting into this Preacher thing now, I think that the public is a little more aware of it now, even though the numbers don't necessarily show that. It's there. It's in our subconscious, man. And yes. I really just am depending on you guys to get out there. We said this last season. Tell 5 people. Just go to work and tell someone what you watched. Show them something on your freaking phone. Your phones are right there all the time. We never put them down. Show them what the show's about. More importantly, drop a comic in their lap and then let them really fall in love with it.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Really?
I'm sorry. This is completely different, but I'm excited about this because even though I have all the digitals, on my iPad.
For sure.
I've been home, I've been bored, I've been cleaning things up, and I found in my old box with all of my trade paperbacks. So I'm back to just flipping through paper again. It's a nice feeling. Smells good. You know what I mean? I'm big on smells.
I had the whole series, and I gave them away to my ex-brother-in-law.
I can beat that. I actually sold all of my first editions. I had all of them, and I sold them all on eBay because I was needing cash.
How much you sell them for?
I refuse to tell you that. I don't talk finances on the show, Steve. No, how much did I sell it for?
I'm imagining.
Put it this way. I think I got. What did I get for it? I wish I could pull it up. I probably could. I think I got right around there. Maybe like 160, between 160
That's
and 200.
That's actually a good deal.
That's fine. But when you think about,
you got good, yeah.
And I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it's just $200. Do you know what I mean?
That's
in
real.
The big scheme of things, I would rather have the comics back than the $200.
And also, like, I mean, for me, I love Preacher. I'm going to buy the compendium if they ever release the compendium. I'm going to buy that.
It's already out, sir.
Of all of them, as in like in one book?
Not all in one book, but you have we've got Absolute Preacher. And there's just 3 volumes, and that's it. They're costly and beautiful.
I think they could sell like one book for like $115. That actually, because it's not that long. You could actually put it in one book, like a massive, and that would be fun to just take with you places and just flip through. One massive, because they did it for The Walking Dead. They had a compendium.
That was like a phone book.
It was, and it was.
You kids remember those phone books?
It was so, and I remember every time I let someone borrow it, they kept on like reading it. They're like, after it was done, they started buying the trades. They're like, oh, that was good. And what it did is it got you into the world, totally into the world. And I think for Preacher, that's a one book. And I think they would, if they sold those for $100 right now, I think it would sell out. If they're like, we're going to have 1,000 compendiums. Tell me that wouldn't sell out.
No, you've got a point. Because as beautiful as these books are, I do have the Absolute Preachers. And as beautiful as they are, they're so beautiful and so nice. You don't really want to take them out.
Exactly. They're for a collector's item.
They're beautifully bound.
Yes, totally.
They're heavy. You could kill someone with one of those things. But they look better on a bookshelf.
Totally.
And that's the absolute truth. No pun intended.
Yeah, you need a compendium that's like a paperback.
Yeah, I got you.
And then just to take around, and then you can literally like flip it through to another. Okay, hey, remember that one panel that did this? You could flip to it and be like, wait, what book was that in? No, you have it right in front of you. I think it'll be great, man. But again, I'm gonna buy them anyway. I'm gonna rebuy them anyway. But if they are planning on doing a compendium, I would want the compendium instead. You know what? I should. I am going to throw a Hail Mary and try to get ask Garth Ennis like through a fan club or whatever if they're planning on a compendium issue.
Do it, man.
Because if they are, then I'm holding off. I'll wait a year for a compendium easily, and just do it like that.
Well, let me pull his number out of my phone for you, buddy, and you can.
I knew you had it, G. I knew you had it.
We're tight like that.
Of course. Oh, but dude, another great thing that happened. I know you see. Dan is a trailer person. I'm not a trailer person, but even me not being a big trailer person, this got me excited. Why don't you tell them what happened at San Diego Comic-Con, Dan? Even though you weren't there, you did hear it secondhand.
Well, they released a trailer, guys, and you can check it out right now. It's on YouTube. They were kind enough to release that. That's what I love about San Diego Comic-Con. Most of the time, they're going to drop those trailers online right after the panels.
Yes.
So I was planning on talking about this one a lot, but the first half of it is basically
that's it.
The scenes from last night. You know what I mean? So we can just kind of gloss over it. This is for you, Houlihan, because Houlihan did ask us to do, as he always puts it, emergency podcast for whatever that he wants us to talk about. And thank you, Pat. We love that. But there's a whole lot to come. I really kind of want to focus on this show because I'm talking about this episode because it's going to be a long one today. I know it is. There's a lot to talk about. Very exciting stuff happening. But did you have a chance to take a look at the trailer?
I did have a chance to take a look at the trailer. Here's the only thing that I took away from that.
There's
only one scene. You know what scene that I saw and I was like, I almost jumped out the window.
I've got two, but go ahead.
Satan
and Grandma sitting at a table.
That's it.
Now I'm going to ask you something. Did that remind you of anything? Like, did it give you maybe, you know how like they like to take the source material and just tweak it a little bit, right? Did that scene that they showed or that clip that they showed, whatever, that little 2 seconds, did it remind you of anything?
It didn't. What should it have?
You know, I'm actually going to give some credit to Tyson over at Preacher at AMC because he noticed this too. He beat me to the punch on this. I don't really want to spoil it though, but it seems to me that there's a certain story that took place last week's episode. Where a card game takes place, which we didn't see last week on the show. What I'm getting at is that card game that took place between Satan and the Angel of Death. When hell froze over and all that. Am I jarring the memory now? Yeah, you go, my friend. Now you are. Yes. Now you're cooking with gas, sir.
You think that's a nod to it?
I don't know. I just saw them sitting across from each other. They didn't do it last week. It's possible that they could do that. Then just, you know, again, a little wink to the fans of the comic.
That's
look,
true.
We got you. We didn't do exactly what you wanted, but we got you. We're you know, throwing a little nod at that. They do that quite often, actually.
Well, you know, here's the thing. One thing we do know is that Grandma is into games.
Oh, yes, we do. That was creepy, man.
Maybe she's into all those sort of games. Maybe.
She likes to play, as she put it.
Yes, she does.
That's so creepy.
It was kind of weird, G. It was kind of weird.
So yes, that is one scene that's going to be coming up soon. The other thing that I find interesting is that we have this really cool looking scene. It's almost like Reservoir Dogs, but in in white suits and red shirts. Where we see Featherstone, we see Tulip, and we see Jody walking with Grail outfits on. We do see the Grail enter Grandma's house, so that's going to be coming up too. So they have definitely changed this up a lot. I'm looking forward to it. But other than that, with the trailer, I guess I've just been so in tune with what's been going on, the way that we do this show, that, you know, the trailer, what I saw of it was, there's a couple of extra clips.
Yeah.
And, it also looks like, you know, they showed the scene where Santa Killers is holding our space up in a chokehold, like he loves to do so much. That's coming next week. So we're going to find out a lot of this stuff. I think that they just gave us just a little bit because they had to do something for Comic-Con. You know what I mean?
Totally.
But they're all great clips. It's been awesome. I have no reason to think that it's going to be anything terrible that happens and the season just dies on us. I think it's going to be a huge climax. And they did say that they are working up to something huge in the comics.
I can't wait, dude.
I realize that's not a breakdown, guys, but it was a quick trailer. What do you want?
Yeah,
what do you want
it really was.
Fucking sue me. I don't have anything to say about it.
There was only one thing like I said, the only thing that really stuck out to me was Satan and Grandma. That's it. I like that they have him back because I was wondering if they were going to have him back, and I'm glad that they did.
I want to see him a few more times. He's very good.
I want to see him indefinitely.
I think you're a Satanist, Steve. You know, and that's the thing, you know, that was exciting news, right? Like they did give us a trailer.
Yes,
I've got something that's a little more exciting, but it's going to be super cryptic, guys. Steve and I are working on something, maybe some things, plural, but I can pretty much tell you that we're working on having I'm going to call it a mystery guest, a mystery interview. I don't know if it's going to be an interview or what exactly we're going to do, but we are working on something very special for you guys. So stay tuned. I may have more information for you within the next week, possibly 2, but it's coming very soon. So there you go. A little something to stuff in your hat.
Dope. And if you want to know more about that, maybe you should email us. And if you email us, you're going to sound like some of the people that Dan is about to read. Because Dan's such a good reader. This is one of his favorite parts. Reading y'all's emails is like when he talks to me during the week, I was like, hey, man, why you sound so depressed? And he's like, I ain't got no emails to read out loud. I was like, word? He's like, yeah. And he got some this weekend. So he's really excited about this.
Can you tell how excited I am? Of course you can.
You are,
Can't see me.
dude. You guys can't see him, though, and he's jumping up and down right now.
For real. I
don't know how he keeps... Yeah, I don't know how he keeps
the voice sounds like I'm not doing jumping jacks, right?
He is.
Years of practice, dude. Circular breathing, the whole bit.
Yep.
I do have emails.
Okay.
I do have many. I have 3. I had like 5. So I'm talking to Pedro. Pedro sent us 3. And I'm going to get to Pedro in just a second. He's not the first one up. But he sent us 3. It's going to be a long show. We got some long emails, so I did have to cut it back, Pedro. But thank you very much, sir. Never stop stopping. Just go ahead and... Never stop stopping? What the fuck did I just say? Never stop stopping?
I think you were thinking.
Isn't there a movie like that?
Yeah, never stop, never stopping. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was good too. It was funny.
That was full on, like from the back of my mind. I just stole someone's material there. So anyway, Pedro, don't stop writing in is what I'm trying to say, sir. I'm sorry we couldn't get all of them in, but I'm going to go ahead and read some right now. And you are included. So coming up, Steve, a blast from the past, my friend. Do you remember Christina from last season?
I do.
She wrote in often.
Yes.
Well, she wrote in just a few days ago, and welcome back, Christina. I'm glad you're listening. Let me go ahead and just read this one up first. Here we go. Word up, Dan and Steve. We back, baby. Yeah, I'm late. Don't judge me. Were you as geeked as I was to see Marie Langell, Jody, and TC? Abso-freaking-lutely we were. I'm pretty sure I shit myself. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure I shit myself. It's the visual. When she said tulip skin. Sorry, let me try that again. I apologize, Christina, but I had a visual. I'm pretty sure I shit myself when he said tulip skin was tighter in a hotel's bed sheet. That boy is just wrong. Just one question. We saw the resurrected chicken last year. Hey now, this is what I'm talking about. Now that Tulip has been brought back by Marie Langell instead of God, does that mean she is now, in a sense, immortal? We found out some of this stuff, by the way, but she did send this in. Or does she die when Marie dies? Bingo! She was on that shit right there. She really was. Dude. That's tight, because you know what?
That's crazy.
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even consider that. I probably should have. Didn't consider. As much as I watched this show, literally, like number of times I watched each episode, I should have caught that. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't. So
no, we did. We did.
That if she died, well, we'll get into it. That if she dies, that Tulip dies.
No, remember we weren't believing what Homegirl was saying to Tulip. We're like, you kill her, the thing ends, and we're like, no. There is a consequence. Something's going to happen to Tulip if Grandma dies.
True.
Remember? Yeah.
No. But I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't really thinking that was going to be it.
Oh, okay.
So if you did, you're the man. I did.
Because I'm a G. I'm joking. Christina, you were way more specific than any of us. Yeah. That's crazy that you're like, so do you think the exact thing that happens on this upcoming episode is going to that's crazy.
Nice job.
Amazing.
I'm impressed.
Nice job, Christina.
So it says, how does this work? I don't know the longevity of chickens, but 15 years seems quite a bit of time to still be running around. And now that I'm with you on. I think that damn chicken is immortal. I know Cassidy just ate it and took it out of the mix, but I'm telling you we're going to see that chicken again. Mark my words. Second question, and don't you dare throw this at me, but could that be a hint at a Tulip Cassidy endgame? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Let's see. Because we're talking resurrected chickens.
I thought the chicken was oh!
And then when she says when she dies, when Marie dies, does she die? How does this work? She says, I don't know about the longevity of chickens.
Is she thinking that maybe what's going to happen is she might die when Marie Langell dies, and then Cassidy could bring her back? If Cassidy bites Tulip can then not die when Grandma dies. Maybe that's, I think.
And even if she did, it really wouldn't matter because she was already dead in the first place. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Here's the problem, though. I think the hard thing is if Cassidy bites her, I don't think you turn until you die. Isn't that the rule? You have to die and then you come back.
Yeah, but don't you just sort of die right after that?
I think you.
Think about those movies where like
Yeah.
someone gets bit and then they go through the whole like pain thing.
Yes.
Someone saw Twilight. It wasn't me, but yeah. I'm letting you know right now. I didn't watch all of them.
Oh my God.
It wasn't me, man. I'm blaming it on my wife. I had to go with her to the movies. What are you gonna do,
Bruh.
Hey, I don't want to hear it because your ass would be there too. You're too sensitive with women.
No,
if you were married and your wife wanted to go see Twilight, there's no way in hell you wouldn't take her.
I'm not going to Twilight, Jay.
Quit lying.
Can't do it. Too many cameras.
Okay, now this ain't Heroes of Noise, and I don't have any reference, but I know you've watched some movies that are worse than Twilight.
Oh my goodness, you're out of your freaking mind. I have not. Okay, and if I did, it was accidentally. Mm-hmm. I don't on purpose go to like a Twilight level movie.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
On Heroes of Noise, let me know. Let me know when
I will do so. This to be continued.
That's a lie. That is a lie. But yeah, if she does, it would be a genius ploy for Cassidy to bite Tulip and then kill Grandma. But I don't think Cassidy wants Tulip to be a vampire, and Tulip doesn't want to be one.
He did it. He did for a while, though.
He did for only.
But that was like a last ditch effort, though. Yeah, he was trying to save her. So,
but no, remember he would have visions of her being a vampire. Remember he would have those dreams
of Tulip being a vampire.
Wasn't he biting her? Remember he bit her.
Oh yeah, he did. Dreams? He did have like, I don't know if it was dreams, but he was kind of like going off on like a like he would lose himself for a while and think about that. Yeah, you're right about that.
So even then, he's like, we could live forever together.
I don't know. I don't really have much on this Tulip Cassidy endgame thing because now we read this a while ago. You know what I mean? Or she sent this in a while ago, so things have kind of changed a little bit. I don't really think so. I'm going to go ahead and say no to the second question.
But Christina might be totally right. So I'm going to hold off. She's probably right. We're going to come back and we're going to remember this one and be like, well, or you could just write in and I told you so with the I told you so subject line and then I told you so in the main body of the word. And
if we're missing the mark completely, you could be like, no, stupid. This is what I meant.
Yes.
Third question.
Awesome.
Yes. Not even done yet, though, man. She's got one more. Third question. Why is the kin of Marie Langell or that bloodline so important, as this is completely new for the show? Was the cat clock... Oh, here's another good one, man. I think this is for you. Was the cat clock in Marie's room the same clock in Purgatory? Is there a connection there? She says, okay, so my third question is a lot of them. Hopefully you don't mind. I think that the clock in Marie's room is the same clock, or at least has that direct connection.
Totally. I think it has the direct connection for sure.
I think that's a given.
Which is really cool because that means that wherever they're doing the resurrection, there is a clue from the real world in that false world that you have to figure out. So that would even make it more confusing. Like if you take me somewhere random that I've never been before, and I'm now in this riddle and I've never seen what's in front of me. I'm like, I don't know what that, whereas if she would have been to Grandma's house and saw that cat clock, she would have immediately recognized and said, oh, that must have something to do with this. But the fact that she figured that out having no idea what the crap it was, that's pretty dope.
You know what though? They should. I mean, it's there. It was in Purgatory and it is in Marie's room. Yes. So I hope they should do something where she like double takes it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that
that is
something.
True. That is true.
She should show some like sort of attention to it. But that's a really good question.
Very good question.
I would definitely say that there is it's the same clock or at least related to it. And who cares if you asked more than one question on your third question, Christine? You wrote in.
Thank you.
I said Christine. I'm sorry. Christine, I'm doing a live show here. What do you want me to do?
Christina, yes. Go ahead.
But anyway, that's it. And then lastly, she just says, can't wait to catch up. So she's in the middle of catching all this up, right? Maybe she was busy. You know, she sounds like she's a busy woman.
Of course.
So, you can't just sit there watching TV all day. Be like us.
Of course not.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, so Christina, thank you very much for writing in. Sorry I butchered your letter, but hey, letter. You know what? This is signs that I'm getting old, man, because I'm saying shit like letter. You know what I mean? This isn't a letter.
Oh, yes,
this is an email.
Yeah.
I know. I'm old. I'm sorry about that. Thank you very much, though, for writing in. And
thank you very much.
Please write again.
Yes.
So, buddy, the next one, like I said, Pedro sent in a few. So I went ahead and kept his the newest one that he wrote in, I think either last night or this morning, because this is relevant to what we're talking about. Dan and Steve. I don't know. Sorry. It didn't say Dan and Steve. It didn't say that. I'm sorry. It says, I'm sorry, I just want to get you. It says, what a great episode. Big old exclamation point.
Word!
Being a fan of the comics like yourselves, we got so much in this one episode. We are blessed by the Allfather and his puke-covered clothing. Yes, I noticed the puke-covered clothing. We didn't go into that last night.
I was waiting for him to puke. I was waiting for it to happen.
They better, because you know how many people you see puke on TV? They better show him puking.
Yes.
Although he looked like he had on an inflatable sumo costume underneath, and yes, I'm going to get to that, man. I don't care. The Allfather is here. Now, the Duke was perfect. His voice was exactly what I would hear in my head reading the comics. They nailed him. Grandma looked just like the comics with her bald head and a few strands. I'm going to trust me, I'm talking about that one too. Whew. And what was more scary, what was more scary than Grandma and her demon voice was her and TC role-playing. I think that freaked the world out,
buddy,
man.
yes.
Totally. And then there's like a picture that he put in of a cringing Homer Simpson, which is pretty funny if you're reading it. Cassidy going full on vampire with his fangs and growling was so cool too. Just shows we have yet to see a lot from Cassidy. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, we've been talking about this, man. Pedro's been listening to us.
We're going to be talking about that because I have a bit of a different opinion on that.
You do?
Yes, as far as him going full vampire.
Well, I already know you're going to say he didn't go full vampire, but I did appreciate that. I tweeted something out like, that's what I want to see. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for fierceness.
No, I want to see way more than that. That's not what I want to see.
Well,
I want to see more than that.
Well, then you write the fucking show, Hudson. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just joking. I'm kidding, man. But no. But I mean, I was happy to see that. You know what I mean? Okay. It seems like they're going in the right direction. But yes, I would definitely like to see more. He goes on to say, one thing that stood out to me was in the end, when the Grail have Cassidy, Hairstar is delivering a message to Jesse, saying if he doesn't become the Messiah, Cassidy will receive a visit from his most merciless torturer. Does he mean Frankie Toscani, a.k.a. the eunuch? It has to be, dude. Yeah,
it has to be. That's the only one he's talking about, yeah. And so we're going to see him, for sure.
And I'm paraphrasing, but Julianne Emery did put something out recently where everyone was like just shitting themselves over last night's episode. She's like, I told you guys. I told you. And she said to expect more beloved characters, as she put it. I don't know if Frankie's beloved, but I can't wait. Bring him on. I can't wait to see the eunuch. He says, he ends it with, can't wait to hear your thoughts, pilgrims. Pedro, thanks, my man. Yeah, this is a very good email. And I agree with pretty much everything on here. Steve may take umbrage with your full-on vampire with fangs, but that's cool because he's right. Like he hasn't really about it. Yeah, he hasn't gone full-on vampire yet, but I do know what you're talking about, man, and I appreciate that. That was a great scene. I liked it. Anything you want to add to that, Hudson, before we move along?
The big one is, look, the dope. I even have something to say about the scene you're talking about, where he's pretty much threatening Preacher about what he's going to do to Cassidy. That scene was very interesting. I have questions about how that went down because the Grail is super duper powerful. So, but I love the fact that I'm going to take my umbrage back a little bit and say that if this is the beginning of something, I'm perfectly happy, Pedro. If this is the beginning of Cassidy, I'm perfectly happy with that. But if they're like, see, we told you we're going to show Cassidy go full vampire, I'll be like, oh, man. This is what y'all thought was full vampire. But if they're saying this is just the beginning, I'm okay. Well, then I'm perfectly fine with it.
Here's a thought. So next week we know that he meets up with Los Enfants du Sang, right?
Yes.
So he's been hanging out with mortals for the whole last 2 seasons, right? Last 2.5 seasons. So do you think maybe he's just sort of like gotten, even though, you know, we let's not forget Denis, but do you think maybe he's just gotten a little soft because he's been hanging out with humans a lot? My point being is now that he's hanging out with, the Les Enfants du Sang are posers, essentially, but they do have a Carius. And if you notice you saw the trailer before I go on?
I did.
For next week, and it was in the Comic-Con trailer, so we're good. But you know that scene where it looks like Cassie and Icarius they're basically doing that "Do you read my mind?" scene from Superman. Yep. So what I'm getting at is he's going to get like a little more like, oh shit, this is what I've been missing out on, because he does say something where he tries to punch Icarius. Icarius does that Neo thing from the Matrix and goes down like that, and he says like, that was bloody. I forgot what he says, like that was bloody awesome, or he says something like that. Do you think maybe he's going to start honing his skill again?
I love how what happened was Icarius was like, hey, is it Icarius or Icarus? Icarius. Is it really?
Icarus was the one that flew too high, sir.
That's what I'm saying. They missed out on that then. He flew too high. And Icarus can
He was flying. That's true.
Is it Icarius? I wonder if that's anyway. So I loved how he said, hey, you're doing this vampire thing all wrong. So I think he's going to teach him what he hasn't been doing.
Yeah, he's going to be like, man, I thought you were a savage.
Yeah,
Bring out that
like,
savage.
You're not doing it the way you're supposed to do it. Oh, and it doesn't look, I mean, from the trailer, it genuinely does not seem as if Cassidy knew that flying was an option.
Yeah, he's looking like he's enjoying the hell out of himself on that.
Yes, and so that's why I think he's like, oh, you don't know what you can do. And maybe after hanging with him for a while, he comes back as a different Cassidy. Like, he's way more like, I'm going to live this life now. Y'all done messed up. And also in the trailer, you see them turning somebody or eating somebody. I don't know which, but it seems like a turning. Like, I would be very interested if he said, you guys are posers now. I'm going to make you all real.
Do you think that's like an employee of the month thing? Like, who's been the best poser? All right, you get a bite.
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Homegirl. Like, since she brought Cassidy there.
Bird Girl 666.
Yes, there you go. That's a good name. But since she brought Cassidy there, her prize might be that. Maybe. But either way, yes, Pedro, if this is beginning of Cassidy going nutso, fine. And I have a feeling it might be. But if this is I'm just worried that maybe the producers think this is vampire enough. That would be shocking. But from the trailer, it looks as if maybe. And I hope they don't say, okay, we'll show full vampire, but we're going to do it through Icarius. He's going to be our vessel for showing what a vampire could do, not Cassidy.
I will say this, and I said it last week too. I'm done doubting the Preacher team. You know what I mean? I doubted him for 2 seasons, and they're giving us everything we want this season. So I'm done doubting. Let's bring it on, man. We'll see what happens.
Let's do it.
All right. So thank you, Pedro, very much for writing in. Please feel free to write in anytime you want to. Next up, folks, and this is going to be the last one, is from Lindsay, our friend Lindsay. This one is entitled Thoughts Entitled. I'm saying it like an old metal band or something like this. Next song is entitled. But sorry, I put a little too much on that there. So this one's called Thoughts on the Coffin. And here we go. I'm not making this up. Greetings, Dan and Steve. Wow, what an episode. I think it's safe for me to say that season 3 is the best season in the entire series thus far. Agreed. We've been talking about it the whole time, and we're glad that you share our opinion. And to all that were complaining that there's not enough comic material in the show, are you happy now? Well, are you? Answer for yourselves, you bastards. I love how they follow certain beats from the comics, but still keep things that original for the show. In my humble opinion, that's how this is good, Steve. I'm going to reread this again because I totally agree with this. I read this earlier. It says, I love how they follow certain beats from the comics, but still keep things original for the show. In my humble opinion, that's how an adaptation should be handled. Personally, I would be incredibly bored if the show followed the comic beat for beat. But I digress. I totally see your point there.
Yes.
Some people would disagree with you, I think, Lindsay, but not me. I'm totally into it. Not Steve either. We got you. They've really raised the stakes this season. First, Jesse's blood compact can't be severed, otherwise he'll die. Now he can't kill Grandma or Tulip dies. That's one hell of a twist. Jesse is going to have to find a way to get his soul back and fast. Also, the Grail has getting back on Pedro's email. Also, the girl has a torturer, huh? Nice foreshadowing to Star's eunuch friend Frankie. So I think that we can all agree that this is the way that we're going, right?
Affirmative.
I'm guessing Jesse and Tulip will be saving Cassidy from the clutches of the Grail next season. I'm calling it now. Oh, she's laying it down right here. Says, I'm calling it now. If that's where they're going, then Cassidy better get a chance to vamp out on some Grail thugs. So, again, we're perfectly in unison. We are in sync.
Totally.
Which reminds me, I'm with you guys.
Dan's favorite band.
It's gonna be May. Right. Which reminds me, I'm with you guys. If there's one thing that frustrates... Damn it, dude, now I can't read it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna try it again, folks. I apologize. Which reminds me, I'm with you guys. If there's one thing that frustrates me about this season, it's the gross underutilization of Cassidy's powers. But I suppose, to be fair, if he were to kill everyone in the tombs, that would put Jesse and Tulip in graver danger in dealing with Grandma. Would it? If he killed everyone in the tombs, I guess that would mean TC as well and Jody. So yeah, I see your point.
Sure would. That's very true.
I look forward to hearing your thoughts on the Coffin. Cheers, gentlemen. Lindsay, thank you very much for writing in.
Thank you so very much. And Dan apologizes for his Walking Dead slander.
I know. Lindsay is a huge Walking Dead fan. I'm sorry, Lindsay, but I know we've talked about this before. I'm just not feeling it. But like I will say, this trailer from Comic-Con was pretty dope. I like the whole thing. Let's talk a little Walking Dead real quick. I kind of stopped right where they're at right now, but I did read in, to when Negan is in the jail cell and all that. So I'm glad that they're bringing that back. I don't know, but I'm gonna watch it. And you know what? I may